very special person here on the stage
shy.
right now, and that is Nathan Macabuag, who works here at Imperial. That's right, isn't it?
I do. I'm an undergrad. So,
yeah.
I'm still studying.
Tell us what you do. Tell us about the project.
Sure. So basically, we're trying to design prosthetic limbs, artificial limbs for people who have had amputations or been born without arms and legs. But we're trying to build them focusing on comfort and making them really functional and making them actually affordable so people can get them.
Yeah. I mean, how much does a normal prosthetic limb set you back?
Oh, it's bonkers. I mean, so a typical arm with just a regular hook attachment will cost you maybe £20,000 per year.
Right.
You know, per patient, which is crazy. But hands can go up to as much as 75,000.
Right.
A lot of it is silly money. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, how did you get involved in this project? What drew you to this?
Honestly, basically, it was our third year project. I'm in fourth year, so it was our third year project, and a team of 4 of us, and we decided we wanted to build Iron Man. So we were like, we're going to do that. That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
But then we were introduced to a quadruple amputee, which means he has no arms and no legs. And that was really humbling because he sort of spoke about the current nature of prostheses and how on TV and on the media they seem really cool and really futuristic. But the reality is that no one has those. They're stuck in labs. The reality is people get really uncomfortable devices that don't work and that cost stupid money. And so we're like, right, that's really bad. We need to make that better. And I've been obsessed ever since, so carry on doing it.
Okay, well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. And, you know, I mean, tell us a little bit more about the start of this then. So when you said you wanted to build Iron Man, was that, you mean, like
Not joking.
A robotic human?
Yeah, I've always liked the idea of building products that work really closely with the human body. I'm kind of fascinated by the human body. It's, you know, humans, you know, our body's just a machine, just like anything else, just a squishy one. So I've always found that really interesting, making products to sort of bridge that gap. And I like the idea of using engineering knowledge to fix mechanical problems of the body. And so we wanted to do that. And our third year project was an excuse to do something we were all passionate about. So we decided, let's do that. It'd be really cool. And prosthesis seemed like a good way to start because you can actually use engineering knowledge but help someone at the same time, which is perfect. It's what you want to do.
So, I mean, what are you doing to make these things cheaper and more available that is not happening out there in the wider world?
It is confusing because the technology is out there. All this advanced technology. I mean, man, we can link into our own nervous system. We can have like sensory feedback and feel things, you know, from limbs that aren't there. There's so much technology out there, but these limbs are still really, really expensive because the demand is very low and the exposure on it is very low. People don't really know about it. There's big companies that are set in their system and they don't need to make things any cheaper.
Right.
And so we're sort of looking at it with fresh, naive eyes and be like, why is it like that? We can make it different.
Right.
And we're just making processes much simpler.
I mean, is that because the companies own the knowledge? Is that what it is? And it's not widely available, or is it?
I think essentially, because lots of people look at prosthesis and making things better and doing really, really cool things. But what happens is when a technology gets really useful, the big companies acquire it.
Right.
And as far as I can tell, sort of shelve it until it becomes monetarily attractive to do so, which it rarely does for them.
Yeah.
They're happy sticking with their regular products, which haven't changed since World War II. That's literally what it is. They make money doing that, so they carry on doing it. So our approach is a little bit different. Instead of making high-end technology that's just going to get acquired, we're starting from the ground up, being like, okay, what's the best foundation we can build? What's the best way we can build these more simple? We're doing things a little bit different.
I mean, what kind of low-end technologies are you using then? What sort of things? Is it things that people will be familiar with?
So essentially, a prosthetic limb is something that you wear. But currently they're made by hand molding layers of carbon fiber around a limb. So it's really rigid and uncomfortable. Whereas we sort of looked at it, I was like, okay, what else do humans wear all the time with comfort? Well, shoes and clothes. So maybe we can make it like that. So we're building our sockets that are flexible and comfortable and they mold with units it's sort of like it's just like clothing. So it's really simple technology. And then
Right.
on top of that, we add rigid elements where it needs to be. So it's much more like wearing sports equipment now, which is breathable and nice, than traditionally, which is what the company's doing, just mold big hunks of plastic around you, which is a bit archaic, I think. But yeah.
And are there any other technologies that you're using that, are kind of, I guess, or is it just about looking for different places for the technology?
It's essentially what we start with is we ask, because we work with a lot of people, a lot of amputees and people with limb loss, and just ask them, what do you want?
Right.
It's the easiest place to start. It's like, what do you need? And they're very clear that we want something that's comfortable, something that's functional, and something that is affordable. And so actually our third year project was using these really cool technology that sort of, was little electrodes that sat on your skin, sensed your muscle activity, and that's how you drive the limb. So you sort of just tense and you'd move this robotic hand. It was really cool, off-the-shelf stuff, again, really cheap. But even that, when we took that to our friend Alex, who was a quadruple amputee, and got him to use it, he was like, "This is really cool, but you could go simpler. Like, I don't need this."
Right.
Which is brilliant, because the simpler we can make it, the easier it is to build, the more quickly you can bring it to market, and the cheaper it is. So that's where we're starting. We add functionality.
So in a way, it's about just having that simple thing. I was actually talking to one of the other people I'm going to talk to later on.
Yeah.
And they're developing what they don't want to call a 3D mouse.
Yeah.
But that's the best. And it's this thing about actually the simpler you can get, the better, and the easier it is to develop these kind of things.
It's like the cliche thing. I can't remember who said it, but it's like, good design is when there's nothing left to take away. The most simple design is the best. It's the most elegant, and that's really, really true. And especially for something like a limb, because our limbs that are inbuilt, we're used to just using. They're not complicated at all. So when you lose it and you want an artificial limb, it has to just work really simply. And keeping it elegantly simple is the best way to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic thing. I mean, I don't know. We've only got a short space of time because we want to get.
Yeah. There's some
this
cool stuff here.
screen needs to be used for the 3D mouse people. So we want to get that. But I mean, is there anything? Well, the focus today has been about innovation and the path really from just an idea into something that exists in the world and how Imperial can help that. Is there anything that you want to say just to kind of wrap up? How that happened. Could it happen better? Do you think?
I think innovation at Imperial is pretty high. There's a lot of new stuff here. The one thing that I run across in every department here is we really shouldn't, and me included, we really shouldn't be making technology for technology's sake. We should find problems and start with people and find out what they need and then build on top of that.
Yeah.
That's how innovation should work, I think.
Okay, well, that's a great point to end it. We've not got a big audience here, but is there anyone that's got a question? Anyone been listening? I don't think so. Maybe these two here.
I'm that
but
concise.
But we will put this online, so we'll have a much wider audience there. And I will say, if people do want to ask a question, please do. We're going to have to end it there. But Nathan, that was some great quotable stuff there, and it's a fantastic project.
Thank you.
So thanks very much. Can we see your stuff here?
I'm right at the front. I nabbed the front stool.
Yeah.
It's where is it? It's just over there with the bright orange arm on it.
Okay, so look out for the bright orange arm.
Look out for the bright orange arm.
Nathan, thanks very much, and good luck with the project.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.